Good afternoon, this is John from 2 Dozen Bees and Gardens, and today I'm going to share with you the top 10 tips for catching honeybees. Tip number 10, use the right size swarm trap. The most successful swarm traps are between 35 and 60 liters in volume, about the size of a 10 frame deep hive body. It should be weather resistant, keep the rain out, keep light out. Entrance should be about 1.5 to 2 square inches and bird resistant and rodent resistant. Keep in mind the weight of your swarm trap. When you put it up, it might be lighter than when you take it down full of bees, and you'll have it full of bees. Smaller traps can lead to Africanized or hot swarms, hot bees, especially around here in Texas. Other places in the country don't have that much to worry about, but smaller swarm traps mean smaller swarms. Bigger swarm traps tend to attract bigger swarms. Tip number 9, use a swarm trap that utilizes frames. Frames make it easier to transfer the bees once you've got them in your swarm trap into your existing equipment. For example, this flower pot swarm trap has a template inside that uses frames. Other box has frames. You'll thank me later. Using a swarm trap that doesn't use frames makes it difficult or much more of a mess to transfer the bees once you've caught them in your swarm trap. Tip number 8, use old bee equipment that has been used by bees. It will smell like bees. Bees like the smell of bees. For example, this swarm trap has frames inside, which we already discussed, and on these frames it's got some old bees comb. If you can't use existing comb, get some beeswax and coat your frames, coat the inside of the swarm trap. This has been used by bees. It smells like bees. This is much more likely to catch a honeybee swarm than brand new equipment that's never been used. Tip number 7 is location, location, location. When scouting for a place to put your swarm traps, look for places that provide resources or near to resources that the bees are looking for. Water, gardens, plants, maybe even other apiaries. But location is key. Keep your eye open and ask around. You might find some willing people that have property that will let you put up a swarm trap on their property. And if it's got the resources that the bees are looking for, you're likely to find some success. Now, before we get on to tip number 6, if you are finding this video helpful or at least getting something out of it, enjoyable, consider giving us a thumbs up, a like on the video. It helps us out and we really appreciate it. On to number 6. Tip number 6, make sure your swarm traps are visible to the bees. I wouldn't want to bury my swarm trap deep inside this evergreen. It'd make it hard for the swarm of bees to fly in. Make sure your swarm traps are accessible so the bees can fly in a big swarm. Bees use navigation. They use landmarks. Oftentimes you'll find that they are flying down roads. You'll see them up above and they use intersections. They mark out where they're going by using landmarks. You might want to hide them from other people, but make sure they're visible to the bees. The next few tips we're going to cover pretty quickly. Tip number 5, when you put your swarm trap up, put it into a sturdy tree, not a tree that's going to be flopping and moving around with the wind. You could also use a post if there's a nice strong post, or a stand. I've seen people use deer stands to put their swarm traps up, and those all work really well. Ideally, they say you should put your swarm traps up in the air between 8 and 15 feet, and mine are typically around 7 feet, and I've caught 50 plus swarms in the last few years. So as high as I can get on a 3-step stool is as high as I put my swarm traps. Tip number 4, when you put your swarm traps out, make sure they're securely fastened to your tree post or stand. Don't overdo them, because remember, when you go to collect it, it's going to be full of bees and you don't want to mess around too much. For my flower pot swarm traps, I usually put this around a branch. It's a bungee cord, and that holds it nicely to the tree. You could also use a ratchet strap. But one of my favorite things on these box swarm traps is to use a French cleat. And there's another piece that's on the tree or post that I use. It basically allows me to go and lift up my swarm trap, put it in place, stays there, don't have to do anything. And then when it has a swarm, I come, close off the entrance, lift it off, and bring it home, bring it to the apiary. Tip number 3. If you have an option, point your swarm trap to the south or southeast. You'll find better results that way. I've caught swarms with this entrance pointing in a different direction, but the ones that tend to point south or southeast have better results. Tip number 2, bait your swarm trap or bait hive. We suggest using lemongrass oil. Got this off of Amazon, and I'll probably put a link in the description on YouTube on this video. Or Swarm Commander, and I'll also put a link, commercially available in different sizes. Previously, we talked about how honeybees use landmarks to navigate and find things. That pales in comparison to the honeybee's ability to smell. There's some research that indicates that honeybees have 140 or more receptors, smell receptors, in their antennae. So baiting your hive is pretty critical. One thing to note is that you don't want to overbait your hives. You want to just use a little bit, not a ton. Using too much would be kind of like going on a date with someone and them having too much cologne or perfume. When you bait them, many times what you can do is just, in the commercial one, just give a squirt, 1 or 2 maybe in the back, inside, and 1 on the front, and then leave it alone for at least a week. To me, they smell kind of like lemon fresh pledge, lemongrass. They smell good, but they can be a pretty strong smell. Alternatively, what you can do is kind of put some of the attractant on a cotton ball and put that into a little Ziploc bag and close this down most of the way, not all the way, and make sure it's got a little bit of a gap here. And that's enough to let the scent of the attractant come out, and that'll bring in the honeybees. Alternatively, you can use a Q-tip and do the same thing. Just put a little attractant on it, put it into the box, put it into the bag, or you can use it to dab the tops of the frames or the entrance. So either Q-tip or a cotton ball. Okay, finally, tip number 1. Success can bring success. I can't tell you how many times I've caught swarms where I've caught swarms before. I have one location that's probably about 3 or 4 miles from here, from my house, and I've caught upwards of 30 swarms from one tree. I've caught multiple swarms from this one tree at the same time. So success brings success. If you find a place where you catch a swarm, make sure you put a swarm trap back up there. You're likely to catch another swarm, or 2, or 30. So that brings us to the end of the top 10 tips for catching honeybees. Have you tried to catch honeybees? Let us know below. Have you tried swarm trapping? Give us a comment, let us know. Have you had success? Do you have other tips? I'm always looking to learn new things. So if you've got some other tips that you'd like to share, we'd love to hear them. So, add them to the comments below, and we look forward to talking with you. Again, this has been John from 2 Doves Bees and Gardens, and we just thank you so much for spending time with us, and we hope you found this enjoyable and valuable. If you did, give us a like on the video and maybe a subscription. We always appreciate people when they subscribe. We appreciate every single one, and we answer every single comment. So thanks again, and we'll look forward to seeing you again soon.